Hi there. So, one of the most intelligent guys who ever lived, Terence McKenna, said that we live in the condensation of our imagination. And that made me think that a whole lot of quotes by Terence McKenna on imagination and hallucinations and dreams made me think that what we are really talking about is a holographic projection of the mind. When we imagine something, it's just some sound or some image in our head, nowhere outside but inside our head. And that's the same thing with hallucinogenics. That's the same thing with a psychedelic trip. That is exactly the same thing that happens when we dream. And so most people have these constructs, social constructs, cultural constructs, and rules, regulations, stories of saviors and messiahs and stuff like that. And everything that we have been told, from religious stories to fairy tales, everything we start to picturize in our heads. All the all the things that we see in our heads are not just imagination. All the thoughts we think are not just um, a random chatter. They are actually uh, what we can call it. It's like an enslavement, you know, because most people actually, like probably everyone, lives inside their heads. So, in fact, we don't see reality as it is. We see reality as we are. So, our preconditioned, preoccupied, already filled mind has a judgment and an opinion about literally everything, regardless of the topic itself at all. So, whatever we think we know, whatever we do, everything is just a result of our hallucination, of our dreams. Like, not just the ones that we see in sleep, but our waking hours are dreamy and lucid as well. Partially dreamy, partially lucid. So, we are not completely aware of where we are, what we are doing, and why we are doing what we're doing in the first place. And this gives rise to what people call disorder, psychological disorder, neurosis, psychosis, and other things like that. And a neurotic has a particular way of living. A madman has a particular way of living. But when there is a bunch of madmen call themselves culture or society and follow their rules of madness and stupidity and preposterosity, that's when mass psychosis takes place. So, this needs to be understood that we are living in our heads too much. We are preconditioned and ruled by too much. We live in an eluded reality. In Hindu culture, they call it Maya or illusion in English, let's say. So, the point being that we don't need to live like this. I mean, one needs to dissolve the perceptual boundaries and unlearn all the rules and regulations and conformity that they have been hardwired to follow since a young age. So, yeah, the point is that imagination is a great tool that we have, but we are misusing it, and that's causing a whole lot of anxiety in our lives. That's causing a whole lot of dreariness and drowsiness in our lives, because then we are always in our head. We are daydreaming all the time because reality is not what we can handle. We are far, far away from the real world. We exist in the physical world, but we don't connect with it at all. And that's why we build all this nonsense like skyscrapers and aircrafts, because we, from the movie Lucy, there's a quote that describes it perfectly. We are more concerned about having than being. So when we are in an eluded reality, we create the illusion more and more complex with the help of our imagination and our dreaminess. And this is caused by a sleepy consciousness. So all we need to do is to awaken. We need to be aware of the nonsense that we are participating in. And one needs to one needs to get out of this illusion to see what is real. I mean, you can see things without realizing what you're looking at. You can name things like, this is a chair, these are my clothes, that's what I call them. But what are they fundamentally? We have no idea of that. So, our modern day science and technology and culture and society and our trends and fashions and leaders and followers and ideologies and stories and everything is a hallucination. We are just picturing life rather than actually living it. And thanks to mobile screens, TV screens, computer screens, we are actually living in a dystopian world where we have no connect with the real world, but all we know is this freaking bright screen that is damaging our eyes 24 by 7 and flushing our intelligence away. So, yeah, the point is to get out of this hallucination of reality and see what actually is. We need to stop imagining life and we actually need to start living it. We need to drop our preconceptions and cultural beliefs. We need to drop our thoughts. We need to stop being productive because productivity is nonsense. We need to stop chasing money as money is yet another illusion. You're literally enslaving yourself for a piece of paper. You're giving your time away, and time is all we have. And how are we spending it? Just how? We are absolutely wasting it. No doubt. No second thoughts required. So, in the real world, there is no need for rules and regulations. To a good mind, there is no requirement for commands or conditioning. Only a broken mind needs that. So, our imagination is like a drug that keeps us away from consciousness. Currently, we can use it to wake up as well, only if we use it rightly. Imagination is a pathway to somewhere. Just choose where. Don't go to hell. Choose heaven if you're gonna imagine what you want to imagine. Just choose a utopia rather than a dystopia. So stop living in imagination, man. Stop hallucinating reality and see what is real. Like, what in the actual fuck is real? Have a nice day.